The Rivermead Behavioral Memory Test is designed to assess if a client has impairments in everyday memory functioning. This version has been known for patients with brain or head injuries, but there are versions for both pediatrics and geriatrics. The following is a video demonstration of the RBMT.
Hello, my name is Nicole. What's your name?
I'm Lauren.
Hi, Lauren. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So today we're going to do a memory test, and I'm just interested in seeing how well you do with some of these items. Some of them you'll be presented and asked to review right away, and others we'll look at more long-term memory. Okay. So we'll get started with the first item. So there'll be a picture of a person, and what I want you to do is to remember this person's name. Her name is Catherine Taylor. Can you repeat her name?
Catherine Taylor.
Okay. Later I'm going to ask you what her name is. And his name is Henry Fisher. Can you repeat his name?
Henry Fisher.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to put something of yours away and see if you can remember to ask me for it when I say that we've finished the test. I also want you to remember where I put it. Can you let me have something personal of yours, such as a comb or pencil? I'm also going to set this alarm to go off in about 13 minutes. And when it rings, I want you to tell me something about your next appointment. So you'll ask, when is my next appointment?
Okay.
Set that over here. Okay. So now I'm going to show you some pictures that I want you to remember. And I want you to look at each one carefully and tell me what each object is in the picture. I'm going to show you each picture for 5 seconds to give you a chance to memorize it. Later, I'm going to show you more pictures, and I want you to pick out the ones that I've just shown you.
Okay.
So next, I'm going to read you a passage that is about 5 or 6 lines, and I want you to listen carefully, and when I've finished, I want you to tell me back as much as you can remember. Okay. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. Here's the story. Mr. Brian Kelly, a security employee, was shot dead on Monday morning during a bank raid in Brighton. The 4 raiders all wore masks, and one carried a sawed-off shotgun. Police detectives were sifting through eyewitnesses' accounts last night. A police spokesman said, "He was a very brave man. He went for the armed raider and put up one hell of a fight." Now, tell me back as much of the story as you can.
Brian Kelly was robbed on Monday morning by 4 armed raiders with a sawed-off shotgun. And they said that he was heroic. Try to stop the raiders.
Okay. Okay. So now we're going back to those pictures I showed you earlier. For each picture, I want you to tell me whether or not you saw it. So this time I'm going to show you some faces. And I want you to look at each one carefully and tell me if the person is male or female. Also, I want you to tell me if the person is over 40 years old. This is going to help you concentrate, and it'll help you remember them later on.
Okay. That person is male and is under 40 years old.
Okay. What I'm going to do now is trace a short path around this room. I want you to watch what I do, and when I finish, do the same thing. I'm going to start from this chair and take this envelope with me. From here, I'm going to go over to the door. Okay, good. Okay. So now we're going back to those faces I showed you earlier. And I want you to tell me whether or not you've seen these faces before. Okay?
Yes. Yes. No. 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 Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay. So now I'm just going to ask you a series of questions that relate to time and date.
Okay.
Okay? What year is it now?
2020.
What month is it?
February.
What day of the week is it?
It is Tuesday.
What is today's date?
Today is February 11th, 2020.
What place are we in right now?
We are in Marriott Hall at FGCU.
Okay. What city or town are we in?
We're in Fort Myers, Florida.
Okay. How old are you?
22,
And what year were you born?
1997.
What is the name of the Prime Minister of Britain?
I know, nope, I don't know. I was gonna say it used to be Winston Churchill, but that's not correct.
Okay. Okay, what is the name of the President of the United States?
Donald Trump.
Okay.
Can you tell me what time my next appointment is?
Yes, I can. It is on this date. It is tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yes. Do you remember the story I read you earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would like for you to remember as much of it as you can remember now.
Okay. Brian Kelly was robbed on Monday morning by four raiders who had a sawed-off shotgun, but he was brave and fended them off. Tried to.
Okay. Thank you. Do you remember the path I took around the room earlier?
Yes.
I would like to see if you could still remember it. Can you start where I started and take the same route I took?
Yes. Sure.
Lauren, do you remember her first name?
Catherine.
Do you remember her last name too?
Taylor.
Do you remember his name?
No.
Okay. His first name starts with an H.
Henry.
Okay. His last name.
Fran. Can I have the first letter of that as well?
It starts with an F.
It's not Francis?
No.
Henry, Fisher. Fisher, it's Henry Fisher.
Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you, Lauren. We have finished this test.
All right, thank you. May I have my pen from the whiteboard?
Yes, you may.
This is how the administrator scores the various components. For all the tasks, the client will score a 0, 1, or 2 depending on performance. The score is then calculated at the end to get both a standardized profile score and a screening score. For the profile scores, scores between 22 and 24 indicate normal memory, scores between 17 and 21 indicate poor memory, between 10 and 16 a moderately impaired memory, and between 0 and 9 a severely impaired memory. These scores will then relate to the quality of performance and occupational activities.